In the news this week, a ban on smacking moves closer in Scotland, parents are branded as extremists for opposing LGBT teaching for 5-year-olds, and a church minister stands against the tide on transgender ideology. Hello. Scottish politicians have backed the general principles of a smacking ban, which could criminalise thousands of parents. John Finney's bill was passed by 80 votes to 29, with 2 abstentions from SNP MSPs. During the debate, some politicians raised deep concerns about the legislation.
Statute legislation can be heavy-handed, forgive the metaphor. It's a heavy-handed way of delivering social change. And as this bill currently stands, it is, in my view, not fit for purpose, with a whole host of possible unintended consequences.
Under this legislation, smacking will be reported to police. Police will have to record it as a crime, investigate it. The police and social services are going to be inundated with trivial reports under this legislation, and they have to treat them as seriously as they currently consider abuse.
The law currently already protects children from violence, and it works well. The reality is that a majority of Scottish people are against this bill, as it would criminalise loving parents. We should listen to these concerns, avoid the temptation to virtue signal, and focus on passing good legislation. This is why I will not be supporting the bill at stage 1.
The bill now goes to stage 2, where MSPs will consider amendments before voting again. The Be Reasonable campaign said the debate demonstrated why the bill was such a bad idea.
Well, it's obviously disappointing that so many MSPs have voted to criminalise parents who smack, but it was good that there were lots of good speeches against the bill, and it was also interesting that even supporters of the ban are spending a lot of their time trying to respond to the arguments that we're making against it. That shows, I think, the importance of writing to MSPs, and so we're encouraging people to continue to do just that.
A Birmingham MP has branded parents extremists for protesting against LGBT lessons at a local primary school. Parents have been protesting outside Anderton Park Primary School, saying children are too young to learn about LGBT relationships. They say the school's teaching undermines their own family values and religious beliefs. But Jess Phillips, MP for Birmingham Yardley, called the parents a load of bigots. They shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the schools. These are people with a religious extremist agenda. Head teacher Sarah Hewitt-Clarkson said the concerned parents threaten the fabric of British society, and the school will continue to teach the lessons despite their objections. Scotland's drug problem is getting worse, despite the Scottish Government spending more than £740 million on the issue. A new report by Audit Scotland reviewed the effects of the government's approach and concluded the country's drug problem has not improved in a decade. In 2019, 1,000 people in Scotland are expected to die from drug-related causes. Professor Neil McKegney has said harm reduction policies, such as parking people on methadone, are to blame. It's so far out of control now that something very different clearly has to be done. And finally, a Church of England minister is standing firm against transgender ideology in the face of pressure from a local church school and his bishop. Reverend John Parker, a governor at the school, raised concerns when an 8-year-old boy wanted to be known as a girl. But those concerns were dismissed, and instead of receiving backing from his bishop, Reverend Parker said it felt very much like I was being silenced by the church and the school. He has now resigned as both a vicar and a governor, and is receiving legal support. Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.